Hey everyone, welcome to Village Idiots. My name is Alex Whaley and I'm joined by Josh Shinner. How you doing, Josh?
I'm very well, thank you, Alex. You?
Yeah, fine, mate. Lovely. Cheers. Good. We are part of a world where competence means nothing, and it really is all about how you play the game, and how we play is usually with old kit passed down through generations of mediocrity. This world is village cricket, and our team is Clapham Cricket Club. Why are we doing this, Josh?
We're doing this because, we love village cricket. We want to celebrate it. And Harry Potter World is shut at the moment, so I had nothing better to do.
That's good. You didn't want to stand in line at Harry Potter World.
I did. Well, the queue's short. It's just the access is limited. So celebrate village cricket. We all love it and think it's funny. And, as we're not getting to play it, we figured we'd talk about it.
Yeah, lovely. And what better person to talk about it with today other than yourself, obviously. But our esteemed guest goes by far too many nicknames that I could remember, to be completely honest. That just off the top of my head, I've got Pigeon, Courtney, Mr. Glass. Do you have any others, Josh?
No, sorry, but I forgot about Pigeon temporarily. I think that's good enough for me.
No, okay. A few more popped up, but we'll see. That it's going to be a long title anyway. I'll give you that one. Sir James Frecknell, are you there?
I am indeed. Thank you very much, Alex. Hey, Josh, how you doing?
Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you very much. It's great to be here.
Lovely, mate. Great. So I'm going to start off the way that we pretty much start off everyone. Could you please explain what is your role in the club of Clapham Cricket Club and how long have you been here?
Wow. So my role officially at the moment is one of the two social secretaries. So part of the committee that I think is bigger than most of the teams that we managed to put out. I've been involved with the club though now for a long time. I think over 10 years, maybe sort of 11 or 12 years now, I think. And I've seen it, been with it through quite a few changes. I've been captain in my time as well. I was captain for a couple of years. Fixture secretary I've done. I did the finance for a year as well, I think. So I'm sort of, I've got a pretty good idea of the inner workings of the club.
You'll be physio next.
Yeah, I'll need it.
How is he going to do that on himself, Josh?
It's a good point. I did think, as I said it, I was like, if anyone needs it, actually.
All right, and then now that we've done that, I want to go as far back as you can. I want to get, and this is like one of the main reasons why I'm doing this with everyone in the club. I want to know what's your earliest memory of cricket, and I'm sure you can relate this to your own son now, who's starting to build up his own very early memories. What's the first thing you can ever remember cricket being a thing?
Okay, so my dad played for one of our local clubs called Goodrich, which is locked into Clapham as well, as we play there once a year as well. We do a tour to Goodrich once a year. But basically, I can remember cricket since it was my first sport that I think I ever played. And my residing memory was down the side of our house. We had this little sort of concrete path that went up some steps that we never used because they were covered in moss and they were slippery and basically were a death trap of a set of stairs. But my grandma it was like an ideal cricket wicket, concrete bit. My grandma used to bowl the ball to me on that one. And I just remember hitting for hours this cricket ball down this concrete path. And I think it was a very clever move by my gran because she never had to go and collect it because it was surrounded. But there was a house on one side and this big wall on the other. So basically wherever I hit it, she didn't have to then go and field it in sort of Acres Garden or anything like that. So yeah, I remember that.
Did you ever accidentally middle one and hit her?
No, Josh, you've seen me bat. I've never accidentally middle one in my life. So that was my first memory, I think, of cricket itself. And then playing for Goodrich. I then sort of went up and started playing for Goodrich from when I was about sort of 6, joining their children's ranks, and then I think I ended up coaching when I was about 12.
Wow.
Building your
and building it up from there. I think at one point I even chose Goodrich over my school club as well, that I was there. I think I went all diva-ish when I was offered a place in the seconds at school, and if I was if I couldn't be guaranteed a spot, I then said I'll go and play for Goodrich until I can play in first.
Wow,
such a diva.
Yeah. So you guys start playing cricket when you're like 6 or 7 over here?
Yeah, you can do. Yeah. So I mean, you can start even earlier now, I think. But yeah, I mean, I'm playing with Rowan in the garden. He's 3, so.
Oh yeah, no, but he's not in an official club though, is he?
Yeah, lockdown. Rex has actually started a club in his back garden with 2 players. Sarah's
Sexton CC.
Yeah, there are clubs. You can start playing with clubs in All-Star cricket and stuff like that much earlier now. So I think 5 is the earliest actually you can get involved with All-Star. Is that right? I'm not sure.
Something like what is it in Australia then?
Right, I can remember the first year I ever played, and like I always loved cricket, but I played rugby from when I was like 5 years old, but I didn't play cricket until I was like 10. Like under 10s was the first year I actually did it. Maybe I just missed out a heap of stuff, but I don't think so. Like I feel like that's the first year I did it. Maybe it's changed. I don't know. It was a long time ago, but yes, no, strange. I think they did things like Kanga cricket, which is like the wind balls and stuff like that before you get to like age 10, but still.
Explains why Australia is so far behind England in terms of performance, I imagine. Just we start that a little bit earlier. Oh, wait,
are you referring to the recent Ashes?
Yeah, no, exactly. Don't worry, I was not being sincere. Cool.
All right, lovely. Okay, been with the club for, as you said, was it, how many, 11 years or so?
It might even be longer than that now. I think I joined in 2007, maybe. So maybe sort of 11 or 12, 13 years, maybe. I honestly can't remember that far back. My life has taken lots of ways. My memory is wiped, I think, before then. So yeah, I think maybe sort of 11 or 12 years. Let's go with that.
Okay. No worries. Have you got a highlight?
I think every season throws up some highlights, I would say. I think the tour to Prague, I think, is probably right up there. I think when we sort of started touring again and ended up in the Pepsi Cup in Prague, I think that was a real highlight of it. I think just basically every win though, because they're so few and far between. I think it's almost like it's a real celebration when we win a match.
It is amazing.
I think last year when we took 7 players to Marlow, I think, and managed to get a victory there was pretty great as well. I've no idea how we did it. But
I do. It's because their their captain sent off the wicketkeeper. That's how we won that match. It's like the most Village thing ever.
A pretty tiny player as well, that guy.
Yeah, he's too good for Village. He got sent off by the captain. It's brilliant.
Why did he send him off?
Because his attitude wasn't in keeping with Village cricket. A move which I much admired. Yeah.
Oh, that's
great.
What, did he give him warnings and he was just like, no, you've had enough?
Yeah, he was having a go at one of the young players for like doing bad throws into him or something like that, and the captain
he was chatting back to the skipper as well. So he was like, so I think at one point he was trying to change the field positions, and so the captain felt a little bit undermined, I think, and so he had a bit of a go and then sent him off, and yeah, I mean, it was silence on the pitch for a while after that.
Apart from Matt Goodman, who thought he was coming off injured, he missed the whole thing, and Matt Goodman was like, "Oh, you're all right, fella," like, in the most condescending voice possible, and the guy just completely ignored him, walks into the thing. It's great.
Brilliant. Okay, fair enough. So any win is pretty much a highlight. And of course, the Pepsi Cup, we have talked about this before. There seems to be so many highlights from that tour on its own. But I think being named the fairest club in Europe is something that is a tag that we are all so proud of. And honestly, we'll never, ever let go of.
No, we never ever will. And I mean, I think the fact that we did it under the auspices of our president as well, we still managed to win the fairest team in Europe with him as captain, I think really says something that all the rest of us really stepped up at that point as well.
We should have that under our, like how in international matches or like a World Cup final, under the England crest, there'll be World Cup final 2019, whatever it is. We should have Europe's fairest team under the CICC logo on our shirts. I think that would be... I
agree entirely. I mean, I don't quite know how we've managed to stretch it to Europe's fairest team.
Is that not what it was?
Well, I mean, we got the Fair Play Award in this competition.
And the competition was in Europe.
It was in Europe, yeah. So, it was in Europe, and it was an international competition of which I don't think there are many. It was, so I think we've taken it and stretched it as far as we possibly can.
No. So what you're saying? It's an international. So is it the first team in the world then? Is that what you're saying?
Well, there were teams from India there. There was a team from India. There was a team. I mean, actually, it's hard to argue with.
Enough said. What about a low point then? Any low points that you can think of?
Shit.
I should start with the low and then go to the high, shouldn't I? I don't know why I do it that way around.
Yeah, I mean, there have been times when, I mean, I guess there are probably two that come to mind. I think the first one was actually nothing to do with the club. Is when I blew my knee out playing for another cricket side, and missed an entire season because of the fact that I had to have surgery and stuff, and so that was a bit low. And then, but we have always we got to the point, I think, just before Jim Clack took over as captain, where the club really nearly folded, and we had to look and sort of really think about how we were going to move forward as a club and how things had changed since it started, and work out what it was to keep it going. And I think there were some times in that when we genuinely thought maybe the club wouldn't continue, but thankfully we managed to work out a way to keep it going, and we're now, I think, in a better position than we have been in a long time. I was thinking about this actually. I was thinking that for the first time ever, I think being a wandering friendly side with no subs has left us in a stronger position than many other cricket clubs probably around the country who are rely on the subs to come in to keep themselves going. I think for once our financial model is actually going to support us rather than hinder us. But
yeah,
that's
I
just
think the financial model might be pushing what we do a little bit, but
Dumb luck.
There's a lot of thought that goes into this, John. I don't know, you've been at the committee meetings. Come on.
Yeah, no, John is excellent. Yeah.
Nice one. Okay, no, that's fair, and I totally agree with you. I like the situation that our club is in at the moment. It feels like a really good place with all the players that we've got involved. Really. It feels like a great place to be at the moment, doesn't it? I mean, it is more dumb luck, the kind of financial situation that we found ourselves in. But still, like you said, take the wins when you can get them. Absolutely,
in every single way. Yeah, in every single way.
Yeah, cool. Do you have any questions for now, Josh?
Do you mean to go into a few of mine?
Yeah, please.
Sure.
Okay. I love it.
Do that. So, Frank, I've written a few questions for you, if that's all right, mate. So, first of all, I'd just like to know something that springs to mind that really made you belly laugh on the cricket pitch. For example, with me, something that really always springs to mind is when we played 3 overs of a match with the stumps in completely the wrong position at both ends. So one was set to one end, the other was just a shit show. So that's something that always springs to mind in the most village way possible. I'd be curious about yours.
So I think it's the new and improved ways. I think the thing that I felt actually that I properly laughed at was a few seasons ago with Hedge, with James Royal, and he's not the best catcher in the world, I think is probably the easiest way to put that. And he finally took an absolute screamer on the boundary. I think this was at Goodrich actually. He took an absolute screamer on the boundary, and in his celebration, he ran over the boundary line, which obviously nullified the catch. And I just thought it was hilarious. I think what I really love is just the new and improved ways we find of dropping catches is just it is something. I think it's a talent. I mean, I really do. If we go through a match and don't drop at least 7 catches,
pride in it. Absolutely,
I mean, it is amazing. And then take some absolute screamers.
Yeah, my favourite part about that Hedge taking the catch and then going over the boundary was the second time he'd done it. Like within the span of a year. Like he'd recently done it at that 10 over competition we played, didn't understand what happened, and then just threw it back. And then people were talking about it, and I was like, yeah, it was at that 10 over match. And you were like, no, it was at Goodrich. I was like, he did it again?
True.
I think the other thing, though, as well, that will reside, obviously, they're all linked by Goodrich, it seems, at the moment. Maybe that's just I grew up there. But the impromptu third umpire decision that we had.
Oh, my God.
Was it last year, where just through pure chance, Scanley was filming it.
Wasn't
managed
watching
to-
it at all.
No, wasn't watching it at all, was filming it, and then realised that he had a way of checking and going to the third umpire. And the fact that resulted in a wicket was just
That
amazing.
was so funny. That was great.
It was special.
I enjoyed that a lot.
It was special.
So yeah,
Because he
on the
genuinely
Goodrich-
didn't know.
So what?
So I was just saying he genuinely didn't know.
Yeah.
He's like just stepped back and went, I don't, hang on, I've got it here.
Yeah,
And like,
so good.
everyone crowded around. Okay,
So-
sorry, Josh.
Sorry.
Forgive me.
So on that Goodrich note, Frex, you obviously got extremely close ties to Goodrich.
I do.
Some might say, given results in the past, that you're too close, if anything. I just want to know here on the record whether Sam, or anyone for that matter, has ever offered you money to maybe bowl underarm to a kid for the last few balls so that they didn't win. Or...
Okay, I didn't bowl underarm to him. That is absolute. That is just. That is besmirching my character beyond belief right now.
I'm sorry, I know it wasn't underarm.
I think it was an unfortunate situation, that particular one, because I think just unfortunately I've been responsible for some of the close finishes, and I've been able to impact on some of those close finishes. That one does bring to mind when I did bowl him very slow balls, and then realised that his wicket would have been the one that meant that we won the match. And then obviously a year or two later, I was there. We didn't need 7 off the last over or something like that, and I was on a few myself, and then got bowled in that way. And so I do realise that's there.
Just after that match, you were wearing a really nice new watch as well, which was just what really. Anyway,
So for the record,
suspicious.
Sam has never offered me money to throw a match. I have offered Sam money to be in a position to either win or lose the match.
excellent. So another, because this is kind of, it's not a Goodrich special, but it's kind of, Goodrich is our favourite fixture as a club, I think it's fair to say. So,
Yeah.
and because of your ties, there's a few questions about that. But first of all, there's a character called Rufus.
There is,
Goodrich. I don't know if you want to give for those who haven't met him, if you want to give a quick overview, Frex, of Rufus.
So I think Rufus probably sums up village cricket at its absolute finest. He still insists on wearing a button-up shirt while he plays, and slacks.
As we all should.
Essentially, he plays in button-up shirts and slacks. He is. He's one of the fairest players I know, and yet still manages to throw the ball when he bowls. And no one challenges on him because he's Rufus. And it's the way that it is. He enjoys sampling a very good bottle of red on the sidelines and during the field of play. Cigars out on the field with him.
I forgot about the cigars. So that was my question,
yes.
actually, is if you were to adopt the Rufus style of cricket, what would be your drink of choice to take out onto the outfield, and where would you field?
Okay, so I would like to see myself actually as a bit of a port man.
Nice
I think
choice.
maybe a glass of port, and also because you can sort of, if a match sort of seems to be going a bit more seriously, you could sort of hide. I'd have to be on the boundary, probably down at square leg, because if we're looking at Goodrich in particular, there are some trees down that way, and then I could hide the glass in the roots of the tree, in sort of where the growth of the tree is, so that if I needed to look like I was taking it seriously, at least I could hide the glass in that process. But I think probably port and on square leg.
Makes sense. Thank you. Thanks very much.
That was a very in-depth answer.
Oh,
It was almost like you'd thought about it.
So, Frex, I'd like to know that, because you're such a kind of an ethical man, a team player, I'd like to know that if it was a choice between getting a golden duck and not contributing in any tangible way whatsoever, but CICC winning the game off the last over, or you hitting 100 but then dropping the simplest of catches off the last ball of the game, resulting in a CICC loss, which would you go for?
Oh, you know which one I'd go for, Josh.
The 100,
the 100, absolutely, in a heartbeat. Yeah.
You go for the win.
No, I would absolutely. I'd always put the team before my personal gains. I mean, I hate not contributing, and obviously, you want to be in a situation where you are contributing as much as you can. But I think it's. I think when I was captain, I was accused a couple of times of maybe sort of not going for the win and in trying to ensure that everyone had at least a bit of a go, and sort of played a part in the match, and I'm sure that cost us a couple of victories, which some other people might not have done. But I want to make sure that everyone has as much of a go as possible, and if that means that I play less of a role, then I'm fine with that.
Absolutely. Good answer.
Yeah, always.
Good answer.
Yeah, exactly what I expected. And good answer, yeah.
So, what do you think your next injury will be?
Oh, mate, I have no idea. Like, I'd like to think that I get a resurfacing of an injury, because what I'm getting bored with is finding new injuries, because I don't think there's another part of my body that left to be injured now. So, I don't know. I cracked a rib while fielding, and I'm bending down to pick up a ball. I've blown my knee out.
Whoa. Okay. Can we have an injury rundown, please? If you're already going down that path, let's.
Number 10.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I think that I came away with mild concussion from running into Joel.
Yeah, that was a great moment.
On a cricket field. I came out with mild concussion. I have had a shoulder operation that was exacerbated during playing cricket. I've broken a rib whilst fielding. Well, whilst on the fielding side, when I was bending down to pick up the ball after bowling it. I've obviously the biggest one is I've blown my knee out and had to have reconstructive ACL reconstruction on that. That was while bowling, not for Clapham, and I got heavily fined in the process for that.
Yep.
Good.
I have when keeping wicket, I've potentially fractured my finger, and I'm not even a wicket keeper. I've potentially fractured my finger. I have done my hamstring on 2 or 3 occasions. One of the worst ones was actually playing for an opposition to ensure that we got a game in, and I ruined my hamstring playing for the opposition on that one. I'm sure that there are others that I can't remember, but it does seem to be a regular occurrence that I do. My back is not in great shape either.
Yeah, you running headfirst into Joel is the one that sticks in my mind. That was pretty special.
I actually remember that's how I got my first net session with Clapham in, was you were actually booked on, but you had to drop out because you were injured. So that's how I actually joined.
It's just such a team player. You can't help it. It's great.
Yeah.
So, Frex, one thing I've noticed recently is that obviously Alistair Cook has been knighted for services to cricket. Quite right.
Yeah,
too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Even I agree with that one.
Good. But you've been playing the game slightly longer than him because you're a couple of years older. And I just wondered whether you felt any bitterness, resentment, or whether you felt like you were due it now.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. It hopefully around the corner in the not too distant. You never know who's applying for you on your behalf. Who's recommending you to various honours lists and stuff. And it'd be nice to think that in time the contribution to a club of Clapham standards would result in something. But absolutely. I don't. I'm not chasing titles, Josh. If that's what you're after.
No, counsellor. So actually, on that note, this is running in quite nicely. So you've achieved a lot of incredible things, James. You've cycled the length of Britain. You went to Cambridge, but don't harp on about it all the time. You've thrown the best stag do's. You've been elected to public office, and you have a wonderful family.
I think so.
Would you swap it all for me to have caught that hat-trick ball?
I mean, there's not a day goes by that I don't think about 2 things in my cricketing career. One is being stumped on 92, and the other is you dropping my hat-trick ball. I think I have to say, actually, Josh, if I was to choose one of them, it would be getting the century rather than getting the hat-trick, because I never expected to be in a position to get a hat-trick, even though I'm more of a bowler than a batsman, or used to be more of a bowler than a batsman. I never expected to be in that position. In my wildest dreams, to score a century would have been amazing, and I threw my opportunity away. However, no, I wouldn't swap it. I just need to get that on there.
You're absolutely, thank you. You're absolutely right, though. A hat-trick is 3 balls. It's, as I am testament to, a complete fucking fluke most of the time. Whereas 100, at least you've got to stay in for probably 60 balls. So, yeah. Good.
Yeah.
Good answer.
It takes longer, is what you're saying.
Exactly. You've got to concentrate.
It does.
Yeah. We can get a hat-trick in. You get 2 hat-tricks in and over, Piece.
You could, yeah.
But
nothing really.
So those are the questions I've got, Alex. Then if you want to play the game or add any more.
Before we go on to play the game, I do question that was missing that I want to ask is almost as long as your list of injuries is, as I said at the top, the list of nicknames you have. How the hell has this happened?
Okay, so it normally is through my sheer stupidity using words and the way that I go. So pigeon.
So good.
It was so we were driving to Goodrich, and we looked on the side of the road. There was a dead pheasant, I think, and anyone in their right minds knows what a pheasant looks like. But for some reason, and I don't even know why I needed to draw attention to it, but basically, in front of the whole minibus, I was like, "Hey guys, look at that pigeon!" And so that one stuck.
It was good, and that was quite a few drinks into the minibus ride. So that's kind of why it stuck, I think, so heavily.
Yeah. And then so that was very much there. I think Courtney came about because I was bowling and I obviously got one slightly right and for a change, and the stump came out of the ground when I bowled this batsman, and I just in the huddle that we had afterwards, I said, just call me Courtney James, thinking Courtney Walsh, and then it turns out that Courtney James is quite a well-known adult entertainer. So Courtney came along, so to speak. Then I've got Dayglow Alabaster because of the whiteness of my skin and the fact that I burn very easily. Councillor, obviously, for reasons of being elected. Mr. Glass, I think, for obvious reasons as well, in the propensity for my getting injured, in those things. I can't remember the others now. Really.
I mean, there's a lot to be going with.
Yeah. The other one, the final one that sticks out, which kind of needs no introduction and which we all love, is St. James of Prague.
Yes, of course.
That's my favourite. All right.
Thanks.
Okay, shall we play the game?
Absolutely,
ready, Josh?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, lovely. So, St. James, for every pod, we've got a running competition at the moment. It's we're playing a little game. You were at the Santa pub crawl, so you will be familiar with this game.
Okay.
So I don't need to explain it too much. However, I will do so for listeners, anyone that didn't listen last week. It's kind of like a game. I can't remember the name of it right now, where you get a word, usually on a bit of card or something similar to that, and you have to, how do you say, kind of articulate what this word is without saying the word, and the person has to guess what that word is.
Okay.
As I said, can't remember. Do you know, you've heard of a game like this?
It rings a bell, but I can't bring the words. I can't articulate the word quite rightly at the moment. So.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, well, anyway, the name's not important anyway. The name of my game is Arcriculate. So,
okay, great.
and we have 3 categories to choose from. And I think we decided last week that, Josh, that 30 seconds was too short, right?
Yes.
So make it a minute.
We are. Correct.
Yeah. Okay, so you have 3 categories to choose from. Every guest that we have on will be the describer. Josh will be the guesser.
And I'm sorry, because I'm terrible at guessing.
Yeah. But I mean, Matt, it wasn't too. I mean, you got all of them right. However,
but Matt only
he was
did a few because he was like, "Oh, so Josh, this word is." There's no urgency, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, let's say for the sake of argument that I have heard of this game before and may have experience of it. Like you say at the pub crawl. Hopefully, I'll put some urgency into it and see what we can do. Lovely.
Good to hear. Wouldn't expect anything less. Our 3 categories for you to choose from, St. James. Equipment and grounds.
Okay.
On field.
Okay.
And DB's wheelhouse.
So good.
Well, how can I not go for DB's wheelhouse?
Oh, he's gone
I
for
think
DB's
that's going to come back to haunt you because I think it might as well. This is about 90s cricketers and I know none.
All right, so I just need to get my timer up. 60 seconds. Jesus, you think I'd have this a little bit better organised?
Well, I'd say, Alex, we could probably cut a bit of this section out, I reckon.
Yeah. Yeah, I couldn't I? But I'm probably not going to. But yeah, definitely could. I definitely could. All right. Okay, St. James, are you ready?
I am ready.
Mr. Shinner, are you ready?
I am ready.
Okay, let's play our Criculate. Go.
All right. Bowled in tandem with Darren Goff a lot. Big ears.
Andy Caddick.
There's King of Spain.
Joel.
The spinner, English spinner.
Oh,
who was
and
at the
Ashley
Ashes.
Giles.
Thank you. Left-handed cricketer, batting coach.
Oh, God.
He first name like my dad.
Graham Hick.
No, not the Australian one. I can't do rhymes with. He like a swimmer, an Australian swimmer with big feet.
Ian Thorpe.
Yeah, put the two together.
Oh, Ian Bell. No, Ian Hick.
No, the other way. What's my dad's name? Okay, might be the dad of the New England cricketer Zach.
Crawley.
Yeah.
Ian Crawley. Mike. Oh, what's his fucking name?
First name,
Steve Crawley.
A snooker player called Parrot.
John Crawley.
Bowled in tandem with Andy Caddick.
Oh, Darren Goff.
Done. Sorry, did not get that out.
Good effort.
Wow.
Good effort.
Well done. Very good effort.
So what did I say to Thorpe? Graham Bell, I think I said.
You went Ian Bell when you had Graham Thorpe, and that would be the answer. But no, you went there for Ian Bell.
Okay.
Joel is the king of Spain, though. Let's clarify that.
Oh, that's nice. Then. It's a nice answer.
I did laugh at that one.
Oh, good effort.
Brilliant. Yeah, Frex, that's 5. Well done. Well done. You got 5. Just to update, it was kind of the leaderboard's a little bit up in the air now. I think what we're going to do is we'll get Matt back on to get his additional 30 seconds in to update the leaderboard. However, at the moment, Frex, you are on 5 for the 60
right.
seconds.
Congratulations.
And Matt's on 4 for his 30 seconds.
Okay, I shouldn't have chosen DB's wheelhouse.
I mean, DB's wheelhouse is definitely the hardest one.
Easily, definitely, yeah. And it was when I did it at the crawl, it was Australian and English players. And I just took out all the Australian players because I thought, well, Josh will have a hard enough time guessing the English ones.
Correct.
Yeah.
Dave Crawley, I think I said. So.
Ian Bell was right up there. It's brilliant. Lovely. I do appreciate you guys playing. Thank you for playing our Criculate.
Thanks for having us.
Oh my goodness, lovely. All right. So how long have we gone? We've gone half an hour. Anything else that you want me to cover, Josh?
No, feel pretty good. Any thoughts on the season ahead? Just quickly while we got you.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're going to play a huge amount of cricket. So who knows? I think I feel a bit for Matt Goodman. I have to say, the first ever cricket captain for Clapham, who could go through a whole season without captaining a game.
Wait. As I said to him last week, he could also be the first CICC captain to go through a season without losing.
Oh, you're absolutely right. It's all about how you look at things, isn't it?
Exactly. Perspective, mate. Perspective.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah, I can't deny that. No, I hope we get something. I really hope we get something. It would be a real shame if we did go through, but not to give a politician's answer, but it's probably more important that everyone gets through this, and then we can play a whole heap of cricket next time.
Yeah,
yep, that absolutely was a politician's answer. Right, just in case the Green Party of Hertfordshire are listening. Good for me.
Yeah, have there been any talks with Sam about Goodrich next year or anything like that yet?
Mate, I have no idea. I've been cut out of that loop. So, I think as soon as Hedge took over as fixture secretary, I think any other person, I know Matt gets involved with the organisation of Goodrich, but any other person apart from Hedge who sort of starts thinking about fixtures or trying to get involved in fixtures gets a pretty short, sharp message from Hedge saying stay back. It's
really?
I'm completely making that.
Oh, damn. It was great gossip then.
How many times have you actually dismissed Sam? Because I know that it happened on the most recent one, and with thinking back about it, I'm sure it's happened a couple more times as well.
Yeah, I think I'm not going to call him my bunny, but he's pretty close. I mean, he has scored a truckload of runs against us as well, though. So I've got him out. I've got him out a few times. I've also got Rufus out a couple of times as well, which has been quite fun. But yeah.
That's another question, actually, that I want to throw in is, besides Goodrich, obviously, who's your favourite opposition that we play against?
Good question.
I think...
Don't have to still play against them. It can be old team, new team.
Yeah, I mean, I think the team in Lanzarote is up there.
Oh, smudging Macca.
But no, I think I really enjoyed playing, and I haven't played them for a couple of years, but Barely Blueies was I think they were sort of closest to where we are. I think we could probably get there with a team like Roehampton. I think I've enjoyed playing down at Roehampton in the last 2 seasons as well. I think those sorts of teams really.
Whalers as well.
Yeah, exactly. Whalers as well. I think the teams that are pretty closest to us. I think it's great to have teams when you play at places which are amazing grounds and that the tracks are really well maintained and stuff. But they're league cricket, and I got out of league cricket really. So I much prefer the village friendly cricket mentality to the league cricket now, which makes me an old fuddy duddy, but I don't care.
No, I don't think it makes you an old fuddy duddy at all. I think it means you want to actually enjoy your weekend.
Well, that's true.
What about you, Josh?
Frex. I mean, top knockers, but then they shunned us, so obviously feel pretty bad about that. I was pretty upset for several minutes. It's the same kind of thing. Teams that have the same ethos as us, for me.
Yeah.
Like, enjoy a beer on the outfield, can be a bit silly with it. That's definitely the way to spend the weekend for me. Yeah, because I think cricket's a long day, so you want to enjoy your day. You don't want to traipse to, I don't know, something that rhymes with, I don't know, Benley, and get absolutely trounced by a bunch of really good players. That was me being really, really political. That was as diplomatic as I can get. But yeah.
I think one of my favourite moments from last season actually is when I recently remodelled my bowling action, and I was bowling someone and they met in the middle, and Jimmy Curtis came up to me and said, I've just listened to what they were saying in the middle, and one guy said to the other, I have literally no idea what he's bowling. That really sums it up for me, really. I'm happy with that.
It could be anything.
Is that a compliment though?
Well,
it could go either way, right?
I got him out. So, all ends up is probably the only phrase that we can use there.
Indeed. I think it's definitely a staple, isn't it? It's like, you don't know what I'm bowling. Jesus, mate. Like, I've been doing this for 30 odd years. I still have no idea. Okay. Cool. I'll probably just wrap it up there. Yeah. Boys, thank you very, very much for your time today.
Pleasure. Thanks, Frex. Thanks for coming on and
thanks very much for the invitation. I've had a blast.
Wow.
Yeah, lovely. It's been amazing having you guys. Josh, anything else?
No, all good for me.
Lovely. Good stuff, boys. It's been amazing. And to anyone else listening, once again, we expect it's probably just a team at this point, so any questions or comments, just drop them in the WhatsApp.
It's definitely just the team.
Yeah.
If that.
If that, it's not going to be the whole team, is it? Like, we don't have time. We do not have time, and everyone has all the time in the world at the moment. It's like still not enough time for this. But yeah, to anyone listening, if you did listen today, obviously we appreciate it very, very much, and
yes, we do.
Would like any sort of feedback. Obviously, we're very, very new to this, and we're just having some fun in these times, and what better way to have fun than to talk to the people that we are closest to. And on that note, Sir Frecknell, we love you very, very much. Thank you so much for coming on.
Guys, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Rex.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Cheers.
Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye.